blockchain. My name is Gabi. I'm here with Edgar, which is our moderator, Alfonso and Miguel. And basically last week we covered a little bit about the theory behind blockchain. We saw some limitations, also the benefits. We also compared a little bit the decentralized and centralized way of making this work. And today it's going to be a little bit more practical. Edgar, if you want to tell us a little bit of what we are going to be covering today.
Sure thing, Gabi. Yeah,
yep.
So definitely last week it was a bit theory and like trying to understand how the blockchains work, right? For this session, we are trying to bring some real life applications, and I believe there are some interesting topics to cover, right? 2 years back, blockchain was like at full speed and everyone was talking about it, and it was like all of this hype of these companies coming up every day. And nowadays, I would say that particular phenomenon is happening now with the AI tools. In the blockchain space right now, it's kind of, they call it like the winter of blockchain, because there are not so many new things happening at the moment, but there are still definitely things going on, right? And something I was hearing during this week, and I believe it's really, really true, is that many times it happens like that with technology and with innovations. First, we have like this huge amount of attention, and then it goes down. And finally, after that, we actually start seeing all of these innovations actually happening. So I believe we are in that period of time, and there's a lot to talk about it. And for those companies and those implementations that actually made it through this winter, right, and that are being applied into the real world, we want to talk about those. So that being said, and before we start with some examples, I know we also want to talk about some other aspects, like many times I believe it has been really an issue with all of these blockchain technologies, the way that we are interacting with them, and particularly like the user experience while doing that, right? So being Miguel, our UX specialist among us at this point, maybe Miguel, you want to talk a little bit more about that, right? And how how we are interacting with these blockchains at the moment.
Yeah, good. Thank you, Edgar. Yeah, actually, that topic is connected with the idea of we are right now in a winter, right, for blockchain. And so I remember the promise was to get this like adoption around the world. And I was thinking, I was wondering about that situation, basically trying to answer why we don't have that big adoption, right? That's actually a good topic, because the technology, the blockchain concept is amazing, right? As we saw last session. However, something is happening, right? Something is weird there. So, and actually, from my perspective, I think the main problem we have is a UX issue. I mean, I'm not sure, probably the audience can participate here, but I remember when I tried to buy Bitcoin, or when I tried to create a new account of Binance, I had to learn a lot of things. I had to learn a lot of concepts around the blockchain before we get starting with buying things or participating in a blockchain. And I think that's connected with the UX, right? Because you at the beginning needs to know a lot of things. So you have this time window, right, where it's like, okay, I don't know, I don't understand the concepts, I don't understand the process. So I feel everything is very complex, right? So that's basically what I think is now the main problem with this blockchain adoption, or this mainstream adoption. So yeah, I have several points. I'm not sure if Alfonso and Edgar, you want to talk about it a bit? But basically what we saw, it's okay. The complexity is a bit crazy sometimes, right? Especially if you are interested in specific technologies, or you want to try directly, because that's another issue, right? We can talk later about it, but I guess this one is the biggest one. Also, the onboarding process, as I mentioned before, it's very hard to understand, right? To start from scratch.
Yes, I agree with you, Miguel. I'm sharing my screen, and something that I liked about this particular browser that I'm using, right? It's called Brave. And the idea of Brave is actually that I believe Alfonso told me about this one, or told us about this one, and we were with all of that hype, right? And it was like great to know that with Brave you can, like connect your wallet here and start
Very good.
interacting.
Yeah.
And you can even get coins by navigating through this browser, right? That later you can change for some other coins, etc. So the idea definitely, it was exciting. Like they will kind of pay me just to navigate the web, right? And with all of that hype, definitely that was something that we wanted to try. But then again, it's true. I mean, what you were saying, that it is not that simple, right? Because what I see is that we had this new technology, and then there were all of these new concepts happening. And then, for example, the one of the most basic concepts, right? Whenever we are talking about blockchain, in particular for crypto, but most probably for other implementations later, is that you want to have like this unique identity, right? Or this, we can call it address, or we can call it wallet, right? That would allow you to interact with the blockchains. So as you can see here in this particular browser, we get that kind of built in. If we come here and then we click this icon, then we see that we can create this wallet, and then we can start using it to receive these coins, and like also interact with other networks and start playing with our crypto here, etc. But the mere process of creating the wallet, that's like a huge a whole workflow, right, by itself. So you need to agree on things, and then you need to create a password, and then there's this concept of I don't quite remember the name, but you need to have like this recovery phrase, right? And then it's like 20 words long, and then you have to store it somewhere where that is not accessible by any electronic means, so they cannot steal it from you, and they don't get access to your wallet, etc. And if you forget your password, you need that, or you are pretty much done with your wallet and everything that you had there, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely I see this this gap in this easiness of adoption as something that needs to happen in the blockchain space for more people, to start adopting it and using. And here we are talking about crypto, but in general, I think that no matter what technology, we want to have that barrier lowered, so we can actually start using it, right? So what do you think about this, Alfonso? The first time that you tried setting up your wallet, did you think this was a difficult process, or?
Yeah, the first wallet that I set up was MetaMask from Consensus, and actually is the most used wallet around the world. But yeah, it was a process, and not too easy. Actually, I remember that I documented that process into a document. And I think the one of the problems of blockchain is that easiness that we are used to with Web 2.0, right?
Mhm.
But also, I think also that one of the makes that this winter blockchain happens is because the governments are not regulating blockchain yet, and that causes a lot of frauds, right? So
Mm.
a lot of people uh, have been fraud by some charlatans, and that causes some trust to the technology.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I think with AI, it will also happen that because it is not regulated yet. So we are going to experience the same process of these guys that are want to have easy money and they fraud the other people, right?
Mhm. Yes, that is true.
In my case, Edgar and guys, when I did this, I I had to go to YouTube, find a
Mm.
YouTuber that I knew it was like real and had a lot of followers and all that. And I saw the video like for me to understand what I needed to do and why and how. And that was the only way I could trust like doing this.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
watching other people do it. Yeah.
And another thing, for example, that I want to tell is in countries that the government causes devaluations and something like that, uh, Web3 or blockchain is the most adopted technology because that's the way that you can protect from government to take out your money, right? So in Venezuela, in Argentina, in Africa countries, also here in Mexico, there are a lot of blockchain users or crypto users. Because of that, we know that the crypto assets are peer to peer, so the government cannot take our money.
Mhm. Yeah, actually, now that you mentioned that, I remember that I saw some news about people, with this situation between Ukraine and Russia. By the time people were leaving the countries, they were taking their savings in crypto, basically, right?
Yeah.
Because that was like the only way they can ensure that they could have their money no matter where they were. And many times they couldn't carry the actual money because, well, this is what I know, of course, from the news, but it was difficult to take physical money out of the country, and many bank accounts, and with all of that situation, they also faced problems with them, right? So many I know actually relied on cryptocurrency to take their money out. So I believe every time, because of the way in which people we got to know from blockchain as part of the mass adoption of the technology, right? We knew about it from the money perspective. I mean, like from the crypto perspective, right? Uh, I think blockchain will always have that component in that kind of label of having money related to it. And at the same time, as you were mentioning, these frauds are happening or that happen at some point. I believe you might get those kind of trouble every time that you are talking about money, right? No matter really
Mm.
what technology you are talking about. So we hear from hackers hacking banks and then stealing money, in maybe hackers again hacking applications and then stealing money from there. So I believe this is some sort of natural phenomenon that whenever you see money, there would be people trying to get it, but at the same time, we don't want to kind of take the blockchain and leave it there like on the same box that it's insecure and it doesn't work just because originally it was linked to money only, right? And then we knew about this, frauds and everything that happened. So I believe it's good to separate that and see that there are other applications for blockchain, as we were mentioning. Based on that, I discovered something very, very interesting. So I was looking for some examples that we could share today. And I got to this article, right, from Forbes. And then what I was expecting was like with this, AI explosion of apps, and we are seeing all of these things, and information is everywhere, right? So I was expecting to find not the same thing, but something similar in the blockchain space. Like there might be many things there. If they are not talking about it right now, there should be some information there, right? Like, for example, this article. And what I found really interesting is that after this winter that we are talking about, right? That this season where these applications are no longer the focus, many of these sites, right, are no longer working. So that means these companies were there and they tried some ideas and everything looked good when people were really interested into this. But I believe we will start seeing what ideas were actually sustainable, right, in the long run, in actually providing value. So
a small comment here. I remember when this fever started, everybody created like a roadmaps. Like we have this coin, we're gonna fix this issue, and this is our timeline.
The complete project was only the roadmap.
Yeah, the roadmap.
but also we are having problems with venture banks, so
right.
It's obvious that they are not funding more.
You're right.
More projects.
No, there's no projects.
Right. Yeah, definitely. I mean, there was this bubble as well, right? Where people were, everyone wanted to create their coin, and then they kind of explain like, yeah, we will use AI and we will make a lot of things in the coming years, and this is going to be huge. And then you want to invest in our coins, and
But
after some time,
it's a pattern that we can follow from internet, right? So we have the internet bubble in the early 90s. Then we have the blockchain bubble. Now we have the AI bubble.
AI. Yeah.
So it's the same pattern. We have a company that only adds the new bubble name, AI or crypto or internet, but it doesn't have. I mean, only a few companies have a complete project with basis and every step to follow in order to achieve the goals, right?
Yes, correct. So not every company is there to last, right? So I want to talk about some of these ideas that I see are still working, and I believe they are interesting, right? Because in the end, they are providing us with different ways to do things, right? So the first one that I found is this one. This is related to crypto, that's true. But the way it works is that they help you in recognizing or rewarding people in your team, right? So basically, you can say something like, you did a great job, and as part of this recognition that I'm giving to you, here you can have this amount of crypto, right? And then you're receiving these awards as part of that recognition.
Okay. Is it a smart contract?
Yes, I think like in the backend, it's like one smart contract that is there running, and in the front end they created like different channels. Like
awesome.
I believe you can use Slack and some other tools, so you are pretty much there. In they use Slack and Discord,
awesome.
Right? So you are pretty much there in the chat, and then something happens, and then the client is happy, and you're happy, and everyone is happy because the job was well done, and then you can just send some money through crypto. So
I want this in my project.
yes, for sure. I mean, I think it's a good idea. And sometimes another thing that I've seen useful about this sort of economy, right, is that, for example, whenever you are working in these distributed teams across the world, then especially when you want to reward them somehow, it's a bit difficult, right? Because transferring money from country to country is always I would say it is expensive and it might take time, right? So it's not really very comfortable. And whenever you take this channel and then you not necessarily this application, but what I want to say is in general, you send money through crypto, then it's way faster and way easier to get the money on the other side, right? Using it once that you another story, I would say, because not everyone is receiving crypto, and then you have to convert it somehow, and there's more processes to it. What we were saying about this user experience, right?
Yeah.
But at least this process of interchanging the money, that definitely would happen faster, right? By doing these transfers through crypto. So I think this might be a good idea in terms of rewards and combining that with this facility to transfer money worldwide.
What kind of coins, crypto coins, you can share there?
That's a good question. I believe you can pick
I
from.
think it's Ethereum, right?
There, right?
Yeah,
Ethereum,
I think
Bitcoin, Dodge, and you.
Bitcoin, Dodge, and Dodge coin that.
Yeah.
Exactly. So in the end, you have like these main coins, right? That everyone knows, or
But I
many people
think
know.
if it is running on top of Ethereum, you can send any ERC20.
Right. I'm not sure about that, but definitely we can always give it a try and see how well it works, right? Anyhow, I like this one. I think it's a good application. It's again crypto related, but it's real. It's happening, right? And it's there. So yeah,
I really like it.
that's one of them.
Okay.
Yeah. Then well, this is one hyperlink that I just opened, but I believe this part of loyalty, right? And in sharing these pieces of value, it's something that it's also happening. So at some point, I believe it had to do with these NFTs, right? These digital assets, and that everyone could have one and again create one and share them. So, for example, something that I liked at some point was that whenever you were taking some courses in SAP or attending some conferences, you could get these digital badges, right? So it was like putting yourself a star in your forehead, like, yeah, I came here and I can show everyone, and then I kind of collect them. So kind of remind me, not sure if any of you guys saw Pokemon at any point, but you also had your badges, and then you can go and play with some other players at your level. So yeah, I think that's another way of using it, that maybe it's not that popular anymore because of this burst of the bubble, but anyhow, you can keep your NFTs there anyhow, right? And still share it with your friends and use them. So I think that's another application that is currently happening. Yeah, not sure, Miguel, Alfonso, did you guys get any experience working with these NFTs? Do you have any?
Yeah, good. Maybe you can open the top shoot from NBA.
Sure. Do you want to share your screen?
It's okay. Yeah, NBA Top Shot. Actually, this is one of the most
successful, right?
Yeah, successful marketplace. And actually, it is that something related with we talking in the early. Here you can pay with your credit card. You don't need to connect your digital wallet and fund your digital wallet with crypto. Yeah, but it is running.
Experience.
Yeah, but it is running on blockchain. So every box or every asset that you can buy is an NFT. So you can buy it and then you can resell the NFT that you are owner, and it's pretty cool. I have bought a couple of NFTs here.
What about the current value versus the value you got it?
I don't know. I have not checked if my NFTs are more
Oh, okay.
valuable
Maybe
right
you are
now.
rich and you don't know
Yeah, maybe.
it.
Obviously, for example, the NFTs from the stars are much higher than the others.
Very interesting.
But the NBA, we know, I think everybody knows NBA is a league, a basketball league, and they are always trying to innovate. And this is one of the most successful NFTs marketplace around the world.
Also, Starbucks created this Starbucks Odyssey, right? Right now, it's there's a wait list, but it's very similar concept. That Starbucks Odyssey. So actually, I was thinking on this improvement. Probably those companies will add the user experience. They require user experience to those products, right? Because they will connect actually the current card when you go to the Starbucks. You usually have right now a card. Actually, big business in Starbucks is the credit we are sharing with Starbucks, right? So basically, they are mounting this new NFT similar than the NBA. But basically, you're gonna, instead of having this current card, the Starbucks card with the stars, okay, basically every star will be an NFT. So that will change a lot the way you are buying there in Starbucks.
There is also another. There is a company called Alchemy that is one of the most successful projects on top of blockchain. Yeah, Alchemy. And they have Alchemy University. So you can take a course in Alchemy University and you will receive an NFT that you have the skills provided by them in the course.
Oh, okay. It's basically your certificate.
Yeah, actually, they have like SDKs, libraries, a cloud provider for Web3. It's a very interesting project, and it is one of the most powerful or valuable projects in the Web3. They have a new library for Web3 development that is called Ethers.js. Before them, we have Web3.js that was developed by Ethereum, but they developed Ethers.js. There is another library, and I think it's more powerful now, Ethers, than Web3.
Okay.
And they have this Alchemy University, so you can take a course and you will receive an NFT as a badge that you have passed the course.
Yeah, so it's like again in a video game, right? And you are collecting these items and you have attributes for them, and you can use it. So you use them in real life.
Yeah, actually, the NFT that you receive is stored in the wallet.
Right. Yeah, it kind of reminded me when you are getting a certification, right? These days,
yeah, exactly.
you get like something like this.
Yeah,
and then again, this can become this NFT that you can not this one in particular, but I believe this idea of verifying things and keeping track of them in them there
Actually,
so someone can come and verify them.
Maybe these kind of certifications could be a little easy to clone.
Mhm.
But if you have an NFT for a certification or a course or a skill that you have developed, you it is stored in the blockchain, so everybody can know if you have achieved the course or you have that skill, etc., or that certification. And is another application or use case for NFTs.
Right. Yes, correct. Okay. Let me show you another one that I found, and I believe is it was pretty nice to see. For example, this one. I'm not sure if it's still working because some of the links were broken. But the idea behind it is that as humanity, right, we always experience things, and that can be like natural phenomenon or some other things, and sometimes we need help, right? Like when we experience earthquakes or like maybe a volcano is there or even some other circumstances. And at this point, I believe the main mechanisms for which we can help people in need through donations are going to centralized entities, right? So we have, for example, the Red Cross or some other organizations that where we can, like transfer money, and then they would help us help the people there, right? But then again, I believe there's room to improve that because sometimes you donate money and you are not really sure about where that money went, right? If and in which way it helped people, to be more precise. And for that, there were these kind of initiatives where you can use again blockchain, and you transfer this money, but then you can also track to where that money was applied. And I think it's always nice, to get that feeling that you are helping people, but at the same time you are sure that you help one particular person in getting something in particular, right? Especially when they are in need. So this particular initiative and this particular way of using the blockchain, I believe it was like a pretty nice idea. And even if this particular portal is working or still working or not, I believe in the future, this is another way of applying technology in such a way that it benefits us as human, as a whole, right? As human beings. So yeah, I'm not sure if you guys were aware of these kind of applications. What do you think about them?
Yeah, blockchain has a lot of projects in the social branch. Actually, I want to show you one that it is still working, and let me show you. Share screen. So we have this ethic hub. Actually, this is a project from Spain, but it operates in Mexico. So you know maybe that the 90% of the coffee that is buy or transact around the world, the owner is Nestle. So these guys have a blockchain, this project running on the blockchain to sell the coffee that is planted and produced in Mexico, in Chiapas. And they sell directly to the consumer. So we can know the coffee that is being buying from consumers, and they are paying the coffee to producers. So if we have a company like Nestle in the middle between the producer and the consumer, these companies pay a very little price to the producers and sell it in high prices, right? So they have a lot of revenue doing only that process. So they are trying to reduce or eliminate or avoid the intermediate companies, and from producers to consumers sell in a direct way. So you can buy coffee here. They have their own cryptocurrency. And I think it's a pretty interesting project. So you can know all the producers, and you can also invest in this project here.
Yes, I believe that's another advantage, right, of using blockchain, that it empowers people that normally wouldn't have those kind of opportunities, and then you connect also people directly.
Exactly.
So that definitely is another thing that we want to consider in that we want to use when we are implementing these technologies. So this is a very nice application.
Celo is
Definitely.
the cryptocurrency from there.
Okay. Yeah, I will recommend everyone, all of my relatives, to buy coffee from here. They are coffee lovers, so they would like it for sure.
We need to check, because when I tried to buy coffee, it was not for some reason. If you live in Mexico, you cannot buy this
Oh, really?
coffee. Yeah, because it is only for Europe.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know if now it's available, but we need to check. But a year ago, maybe, it wasn't allowed to buy coffee from Mexico.
Okay.
And
yeah, let's have a look.
Also, I want to share this. This is from the World Economic Forum, and it's pretty interesting because you can choose a technology or maybe a country, and it will show you all the projects and the use cases related with that technology or country.
Wow.
So we can here we have selected blockchain, and we have like the most used use cases. And then we have, for example, here blockchain and identity, digital identity. If I select this, we can know this relates with the digital economy, COVID-19, corruption, global health, digital identity. And we have here some publications, some videos, and a description about this.
Wow.
And in most of these use cases, the World Economic Forum has a project running into. Okay, so I think it's a pretty cool way to explore different technologies. For example, here we have artificial intelligence, right? Or this one, the climate impact. If I click here, it will load all the relates with artificial intelligence, right?
Nice.
So I think if you want to explore more about it, you can go here, intelligence we farm topics.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and you can see all the projects and a lot of publications, videos, posts, and related with the topic that you can choose. So I will share here the
link.
the link.
Yes, please do so. I'm already willing to start playing with it.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
so here related with blockchain, we can see, for example, this one, no? Digital identity or decentralized governance. That are a couple of use cases related with blockchain.
Right.
There are a couple of countries in Europe that they have implemented the digital identity. So every citizen of the country has a digital identity.
Wow.
And you can, yeah, it's pretty cool because you can have, for example, your drive license in this digital identity. So if you violate a law, everybody knows, yeah, I mean, the government will know who are you, and if you have like a record doing the same thing. So I think it's pretty cool to.
Could you please open that one? I'm not sure you should, but E-Estonia.
Okay. Which one?
E-Estonia.
E-Estonia.
ES.
Yeah, this is one of the countries, right?
Yeah.
Estonia.
Yeah, that's actually what you are saying right now, right?
Yeah. So
you can scroll. Yeah, please click on Estonia story, please. Yeah, you can see everything about it. Basically, they have this digital government, right? Okay, can you please scroll down? You will see that this real roadmap, right, in a real country.
So yeah, this one. They pay the taxes in a couple of clicks, right? Using this
It's amazing.
Yeah, can you go back, please? Just 1 second to those e-taxes. For example, here it says, of course, the challenge, right, that I believe every country has, that to maximize tax revenue, they need to have this income so they can help the society grow and cover their needs, right? But here the effect, it says to declare taxes now takes about 3 minutes online.
Wow.
In 98% of people declare their income electronically. So that definitely would take all of this hassle, right, out from the picture whenever you are trying to report your taxes, because right now it has to be in many countries, right? That's like a manual process, and then you have to keep track of things, and then you need to remember that you have to do that, and then you have deadlines, etc. So it's pretty complicated. And if what they are saying here it's true, then you just took out of all of this hassle from their community, from their country, and still they are getting higher rates of income from taxes, right? So definitely, and I believe this is possible because, of course, for you to declare your taxes, you need to keep a record of all the things financially that you made. And those records need to be trusted, right? It's not like someone is saying that something is happening and you will trust them directly. Rather, with the blockchain, you have that security that all the operations that were there are stored in the blockchain. It's a source that you can trust, and with that, you get this effect that you can easily just declare your taxes and then get done with it in 3 minutes. So I think that's a bit about this, potential that blockchain has, right? Even for governments to trust in the information, and they can act upon that information accordingly.
Yeah, and actually we are seeing, for example, the European Union, maybe a month ago, they released the Eurocoin, stablecoin, on top of Ethereum, I think, network. So we are seeing that many governments are trying to release their digital asset or digital currency, and they are saying that it's a way to to have this kind of records of the people and to increase the income by taxes, right? But I think it's not the first step that every country needs to do. I think the digital identity is the first step that we need to do in order to achieve this kind of digital societies, right?
Right. Okay, so I found a video about digital identity, so maybe I can share that. And I want to say that these videos were a bit hard to find because these are like well produced and everything. So it's not something that you would commonly find in terms of blockchain necessarily. But okay, let me share also the audio. Sorry about that. But the idea is they explain, right? For example, what kind of use cases they are actually implementing. So let's see this one.
Across the job landscape, demand for skilled labor has never been higher. And while there are great jobs waiting for great candidates, something is missing: a better way to match people, skills, and jobs. Employers are equally interested in actual skills and degrees, but identifying skills based on resumes is hard. We all want to help learners and job seekers manage their careers, but inconsistent and siloed data about skills, certificates, and credentials makes this difficult. Many job seekers, especially those switching careers, need to document skills acquired from training, like online courses or coding camps, and they need a simpler way to find out what new skills they need and where to get them. To answer the call, IBM and its partners have developed a reliable, secure approach for all stakeholders. It's called the Learning Credential Network, and it helps learners, job seekers, educators, and employers equally so everyone can work together to get the right people in the right jobs. Here's how it works. Digital wallets provide a permanent, verifiable record of the learner's skills. The wallet owner manages their own credentials through blockchain technologies that assure the privacy of their data. This gives educators, learners, and employers a trusted way to share skills and credentials. Institutions can build learning pathways to help learners identify skill gaps and determine appropriate training. Job applicants can choose to anonymously share their skills profiles with potential employers. And employers can search for job candidates based on skills to find applicants who best match their requirements. Built on the guiding principles of openness, sharing, and interoperability, the Learning Credential Network is managed by its community of users. In this way, the Learning Credential Network provides an efficient and trusted way for employers, learners, and educators to work together and quickly train and place the right people in the right jobs. We invite you to join the Learning Credential Network and help match great people with great careers.
Yeah, so I believe that really talks about something, right? That we were discussing about these credentials and the way that you can keep your identity. And I believe another important concept about this is that you get to choose, right? When to disclose your identity and to whom. So, for example, that also applies for medical records. And let me see if I can find that video. But basically, whenever you really want that people to know something about you, right? Then you can disclose the information. And it is until that point that you allow them to get to know you or to get to know things about you, right? So one of the main goals of this digital identity is that you as a person you can have control over your data. So I believe that's another powerful feature that comes with blockchain, and that might prove really useful in the incoming years. As Alfonso was saying, this digital identity, I believe that's something that we will start seeing, right? Being adopted, and eventually we will have one. That's what I think, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So let me see if I can find that other video, and it also talked about this, medical records, and it was pretty interesting because it explained this use case for which you want to go to one doctor, right, for some consultation, and then again you can also share like the results of your medical work or your lab work, and also like your history and everything. But it is until you unlock it, you get access. And the other advantage of it is that since it is centralized, then you don't need to create a record every time that you go to a different part of the medical system. Rather, you get a unique identity that where everything is concentrated there, and then you can use that as some sort of passport to move around the whole medical ecosystem, right? So I think that's pretty cool and really useful, because right now, every time here in Mexico, every time I need to go to the doctor, I have to explain everything again, and and they really need to understand like the whole history before they can help me, right? So yeah, not sure if you guys experienced that as well.
Yeah, it's a problem that you need to maybe you can also bring the other doctors yeah, documents, and you need to explain, and so you pass like an hour explaining all the problem that you have.
Right, exactly. And sometimes you just need immediate attention, right? So what happens if you're unconscious? Then who will tell them, or something?
Good point.
Right. Yeah. So that's something. And maybe one final use case, right, that I found is about insurance. So I will share my screen one final time. I think we are almost there. But the idea here is that whenever you're driving, for example, you are always in this small risk, but you can always have like an accident, right? So at this point, same thing with insurance companies. It's like difficult to prove that you have an insurance, and then it's difficult to go through all of this process. And when they get there and they start helping you, then it's not clear what happened, etc. So I believe as things start getting more connected, right, and maybe there's some IoT in there and some other things, you can also have this proof, for example, that you have an insurance. And in this use case, they were saying something like, yeah, so you have a QR code that you can share, and then immediately you kind of interchange information, and then you can be, you can rest a little and take it easy, because you know that everything will be taken care of, right, of that particular situation. So as we were saying, I believe that on the insurance field, also as part of the medical field, but in some other aspects, this kind of technology will also help improve the speed, right, in which you can actually make your claims and get refunds. And in general, it will improve your experience working with insurance. So as you can see, I believe there are plenty of applications. I even believe we didn't talk about all the ones that we had prepared for today, but there's much more in the blockchain space than just crypto. And as this technology and others keep progressing, then we will start seeing more and more these technologies in our daily lives, right? So be prepared for all of this revolution and this world changing. And I think exciting times are coming. So yeah, that would be,
Yeah,
I
since the hype has passed, now we will see only formal and serious projects
Definitely. Yeah, I hope so.
related with blockchain.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
maybe in a few months we can talk about this one more time,
Mhm.
depending on what is out there. All
Sure.
right, so if there is any questions from the audience, this is the moment. Otherwise, I think we are good for today.
Mhm. Yeah, so definitely we hope you guys enjoyed this session, and let's meet next week to keep talking about some exciting technologies. So Gabby, I'm not sure if we are all set, then we
Yeah,
can conclude
I
the
think
call.
we're good, Ben. Thank you very much for being here until the end, and we'll see you again next Thursday.